We're back, Patrick.
We sure are, Thomas.
And you're back too. Thanks for joining us today as we discuss all things golf. And by golf, I mean Golf GTI and Golf R. The legendary GTI has been with us for generations. Everybody knows the GTI. Golf R, a little bit newer on the scene. It truly is the perfect Canadian sports car. Everything you find in the GTI, cranked up to 11. It's amazing. It's the Golf R. Let's find out about it. With the introduction of the 8th generation Golf comes the latest version of the Golf R. One single letter, but it makes some kind of a difference. Patrick, I see by your shirt that you know a little bit about the history of the R.
When we talk about the history of the R, it's not really just a letter, but it also started with numbers. The original R32 was launched globally with the 4th generation of the Golf. And the 32 stood for a 3.2-liter VR6 engine cranking out 240 horsepower. Now, unfortunately, we never got that in Canada. Our R story started a little bit later.
It certainly did, Patrick. We didn't even get the 5th generation Golf with the R designation, but we did get the 6th. And it hit the ground running and it hit the ground hard. Fast forward to today, and look what we got here. 8th generation Golf R. All kinds of changes. It's essentially all new. And the big difference starts right under the hood.
The Golf R starts with a simple but highly impactful formula. Ever since that 6th generation car, the template's been the same. High output, 2-liter turbocharged engine. This 4th evolution of our E888 now cranks out 315 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque if you get it with the 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. However, you can also get the Golf R exclusively in North America with a row-your-own 6-speed manual gearbox. That one has a torque output of 280 pound-feet.
Sorry, Europeans, if you're watching this video, you're gonna have to come visit us in Canada to drive that manual transmission, the preferred transmission. But the story with the Golf R, Patrick, has always been about subtlety. High power, all-wheel drive, but not in-your-face power. And that translates to the looks, doesn't it?
It really does, Thomas. Up front, we have a subtly aggressive style that really hints at the performance that lies within, but without being a little bit too ostentatious. You've got a swept-back headlight, the same signature light bar that goes across the front of the car as its GTI sibling, but now with a blue pinstripe over top of it, Lapis blue having always been one of the hero colors of the Golf R. We've also got larger air intakes than the lower valence, feeding the various cooling for the brakes, for the intercooler, and so on. And as we move down the side of the vehicle, subtle R badging, beautiful 19-inch Estoril wheels hiding gargantuan 357mm ventilated rotors clamped down on by twin piston calipers.
That is quite the braking force, and with great vented discs in the back, you can be sure that you're gonna be able to slow your Golf R down just as quickly as you can accelerate it. Great looks, great visual appeal. Obviously, it's got the power and it's got the handling. Let's take a look inside and see what's new in there. Patrick, I'm in the catbird seat here, and one word comes to mind: sophistication.
Thomas, from the driver's seat, you're going to see a lot of elements in the Golf R that are quite similar to the GTI, but with a few key enhancements. First and foremost is what you're sitting on. Same great sport bucket seats as the GTI, but now clad in beautiful Napa leather with a little bit of blue shining up through the different perforation elements in the seat.
I like it. I like it a lot. And everything about this, the steering wheel, the dash, it all looks so functional and so futuristic.
Absolutely. You've got the same great digital interfaces, including the customizable instruments as the GTI, but with new views specific to the Golf R. But the most important element in the interior, beyond the amazing control interfaces, is that little blue R button on the steering wheel.
Ah, yes. I see what that does.
When you press that R button, you can do one of two things. You can either lightly press it to cycle through the various drive modes, or you can hold it down to put the car straight into race mode. And Thomas, that to me is the most important and impressive thing about the Golf R. It's that the car can go from being a ferocious performance car to a quiet, comfortable commuter, really at the touch of a button.
It certainly can, and it's testimony to just how much of an all-arounder the Golf R is. lots of horsepower, the security of all-wheel drive, the fit and finish is amazing, and the features are great. And for the first time in Canada in a Golf R, take a look above. The availability of a tilt and slide sunroof. It is absolutely perfect in here.
Thomas, as we cycle through these different drive modes, you can really change the character of the car. The default mode is Sport. We have the blue ambient lighting. Everything is in a balanced state. There's a comfort mode that softens up the throttle response, the damping, and a variety of the other functions in order to make the car a perfect commuter. But the really fun modes are Race, or my personal favorite, the Nürburgring mode. Now, Thomas, when you press that R button on the steering wheel, you can call up one of the 6 different driving modes, each of which gives the car a different character. There's a new drift mode even, but my favorite is the Nürburgring mode, which was specifically tuned at the Nürburgring Nordschleife racing circuit in Germany. This puts everything in its most aggressive settings except for the dampers, which are left in comfort mode. This makes it truly the perfect drive mode for Canadian backroads.
And don't forget, once you select the Nürburgring mode, all of your ambient lighting goes green. Now, why is that, Patrick?
Thomas, that is because the nickname of the legendary Nürburgring Nordschleife racing circuit is the Green Hell.
Yeah, green hell it might be for racers, but it met its match with the Golf R. It really is the perfect Canadian sports car. Copious amounts of turbocharged horsepower, all-wheel drive, and room for 4 in leather luxury. The Golf R really does have a lot. And Patrick, I think this is the view most people are going to get when it comes to the R.
There's a very good reason for that, Thomas. Beyond the power, beyond the all-wheel drive system, the Golf R for the 8th generation has a new party trick, and that is a new torque vectoring rear differential. This is a really cool bit of kit that completely changes the character of the car. This is a multi-plate clutch differential mounted on the rear axle that can send 100% of available power to the left or to the right. So what does that mean? It allows us, when we're turning the car into a corner, for example, to the left, to overdrive the outside rear wheel, to pivot the car towards the apex of the corner and give it a rear-wheel drive character without losing that all-wheel drive, all-weather capability.
Translated, that means a lot of fun and a lot of safety. The Golf R, all-weather, all the time, really is able to put that power down. And aesthetically, look at this 2-stage spoiler. It really does create some downforce at the rear. We've relocated the R logo to the center. Take a look at that beautiful diffuser down below. And Patrick, those exhaust pipes, wow.
And Thomas, would you believe me if I told you they sound as good as they look? The Golf R has a valved performance exhaust, so depending on the drive mode, the exhaust will either be louder or quieter, and in the more aggressive settings, you'll even get a nice little backfire on the overrun.
Yeah, that works for me. Patrick, it's a fire-breathing dragon. All singing, all dancing, all-wheel drive. It truly is the perfect Canadian sports car.
I couldn't agree more. I'll take mine in pure white with the manual gearbox.
I think that color works. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Golf R. Check it out on vw.ca. I think you're going to like what you see.
Volkswagen.